Okay, good morning, everyone. I think, yeah, it is always a pleasure towards like year end that we can meet again, right? I think some of you, yeah, use this as a networking or gathering session among those who are practicing architecture or trying to push to make it happen, right? With the architecture knowledge and practices in our organization. So actually, this morning, I think like we have two sessions, right? So the morning we only gather in a small group because we want to share. Okay, so I mean, hopefully all of you relax, right? Sometimes need to warm up, to have more confidence, to be comfortable, to share. Okay, so the objective is we want to learn from each other. Okay, not me talking. I will just presenting a couple of slides. After that, we go for discussion. If, right, I believe some of the scenario or some of the context relevant to your organization, perhaps you're also looking for the solution, for the answer. Perhaps some other members, some other friend have faced the same situation as well, and trying to so-called, we got multiple brain here, right? I mean, if 2%, just brainstorm 2%. Now I think we got about 30, right? Powerful brain in this room, 30. We should be able to solve our challenges, right? So that we can, rather than in the afternoon typically one way. You just listen to the presenter, you just keep pondering how to do that. Now, we can ask how and perhaps how we facilitate, right? I believe can get the answer lah, right? So the topics that I'm going to share is basically about for the disruption, long-term organization resilience, right? So actually, I want to summarize this into what I call it architecture depths. Not sure how many of you have the context about depths. Depths, of course, the meaning in Malay mean hutang lah, right? And the more you have depths, the life become miserable, trust me. Okay, debts only give you a pleasure for a short term, right? And maybe short time. Maybe 1 week happy. When you borrow the money to buy something very expensive, you feel heavy. You feel happy for the first week or first month. By the time the installment coming, you freak out. Why do I need to take so much debt? Actually, I don't need to take the debt. Now, of course, that one is in our day-to-day context. So the one I'm going to talk to you is actually about the context of debts in our life, and then after that, in our organization. Do we actually make our organization, our team become so-called accumulating debts? Yeah. So let's understand the banking perspective. I know ada got from Bank Islam, right? I think if you need to borrow money, I don't know, you provide loan? No. Yeah. So you can borrow from them, but don't borrow too much, okay? You borrow too much, you cannot pay, in trouble, right? Just borrow within your means, okay? So when you talk borrow money, they tell you about what? Principal, right? How much amount? Plus interest, right? And you need to calculate how many years, isn't it? That's the common terminology. Then, from finance perspective, of course, debt can also be financial bridging financial thing, right? So you short of cash, you borrow money lah, right? But make sure that you can pay the principal plus interest. Make sense, yeah? Then the next one is from legal perspective. Every time you take loan, there be a legal paper, right? You have to pay, right? 1%, right? 2% to the lawyer to make sure what? You pay lah, the debt, correct? Right? Again, cover principal plus interest. Then the next one is from business perspective. Sometimes debt also, you know, is necessary. It's necessary because why? Business need to survive. Lack of cash flow. So debt got the positive side, got the negative side, right? Now, knowing the context about debt, let's now understand about our architecture debts. Wow, got architecture debts. Do we create that? Who signed for that loan? Who approved it? What is the interest? Ask my boss. Okay, what's our architecture debt? From business perspective, so architecture debt is the inability of IT to support and adapt dynamic business demand. Is there such thing? How do I know? My business people say so. If your business said, oh, my IT is good, Aaron, they are very responsive, you know, they are helping us a lot, done. You are debt free. Okay? You are debt free. Yeah? But how many of us in this situation? Right? So if you are in this situation, so IT become a showstopper. So business said, wow, every time IT is make my progress slow or delaying my progress, right? So meaning we have debts. Next one. From financial perspective, every time IT got initiative or digital initiative, right? The business say what? No budget. Even a budget, very, very little. Why? Because no return, no ROI. Yeah? And of course, IT is always as a cost center. So these are the indicator that, that we have somehow the year debts. How do we know how much? Yeah, that's one subject to the discussion. Huh? Then from legal perspective, do you sign contract to your business with the business team? Anyone sign contract? No lah, the most, they give us the money. It's nice, isn't it? Our role, the business give us 10 million, 15 million, 20 million to run the project. Got contract? You mortgage your house. Mortgage your punya kereta, car, house. No, just take. After that, if project don't work, what happen? It's okay. I update my LinkedIn post, open to work. You know what's open to work? Hopefully somebody else rescue me lah. I go to join that company, what happened? I create another debt. And then facing problem, update my LinkedIn status again, open to work. Isn't it? Sorry, I'm not trying to offend those who have open to work sincerely, but in some of the instances, they screw up many projects, right? Then just run away. That's the beauty of the IT professional, isn't it? We can run away without debtor chasing us. Okay? Your boss sack you. What? It's okay. Actually, you already created 100 million debt to the company. Who cares? Yeah? Hopefully no bosses here. No bosses. Yeah? So at least now you know how much your staff have created debt for you, right? Before they leave. Actually should block. They're not allowed to leave until they pay the debt. Okay? So architecture is an afterthought, right? I mean, if you look at the typical instances is that, yeah, architecture is considered done, right? But who is actually doing it? And the last one is from the IT perspective, right? So when you have so-called the year debts, no standard. Anyone can do whatever they like, right? If you engage that vendor give you the framework, follow. Okay, the vendor give you the framework, follow. Do you need to understand? Don't need, right? As long as the system delivered, go live, that's it. But after that, you pay in the maintenance, yeah? Okay, how you manage your IT operation? Nightmare, okay? And of course, the reason is this. Duplication, island of system, island of digital, right? So, out of these four, anyone debt-free? Something that never been discussed lah. Because we thought that we're busy lah, doing work, and then every time asking for money, no budget what? Actually, all these are the sign, right? That actually, either ourselves or our team causing the debt to the organization. That's the reason IT are not given the budget. Right? I think you have seen this slide in my earlier presentation, right? Why is the year debt from the business perspective, right? What are the costs? Because what happened is that by default, our team, our structure in the organization is by department, right? And then one department to another department, typically what? Somehow aligned. But they are not fully aligned. Actually, every department have their political tension, isn't it? You know politics? Right? They tell you that, sorry, Aaron, you have no access to this information. That's already starting politics. Hey, actually, we are working in the same company. Why you keep telling me like that? Even your boss also not given access. Something not right, isn't it? So everything is silo. Everybody trying to protect their knowledge, their territory, right? They call it tribal knowledge. Tribal knowledge means only the knowledge being passed down from your great-grandparent to your grandparent to your father to you. And you only pass it to your kids. The neighbor kids don't know. Your cousin don't know. Right? So this is what happened in our organization, right? That's why, because of that, we are facing many issues. Friction, right? Play politica. Right? Business and IT playing politics. And of course, the IT system never get aligned to the business. Bring little value. Okay? So that's basically the first perspective on the year debt from the business angle. And of course, the other thing from the business angle as well is communication. between business and IT team, right? Of course, now Mr. IT is always talk binary, right? SML, TCP, IP, but Mr. Business talking about value. What is the value, right? What are you trying to deliver? You don't tell me AI. What's the value to my business? AI what? Right? If you cannot justify the business value, don't need to mention the jargon word, right? So this is basically the message. And of course, all this alignment as well between business and IT, right? If you want it to be aligned, somehow they align lah. But interestingly, that alignment may take, to develop this railway track, maybe 6 months. Alignment takes 6 years. Okay, so after 6 years, then they can align. By the time, you already have created many misalignment everywhere. And that is the debt. Yeah? And of course, all our digital initiative, everything run in silo. Because why? Run by multiple department, what? Multiple department, multiple team. Who are doing alignment? PMO. PMO only align, oh, this project must do after that project. When do execution, on your own. Okay? So actually, if you put it in the building block like this, overlapping everywhere. And that caused a lot of debts to the organization. And of course, you know about integration. I think the last 20 years, 15 years, industry trying to so-called integrate. They are trying to integrate between various systems. So what do? What do they buy? They buy this one, isn't it? Sorry, I don't know why the alignment is out. But actually, they are buying the so-called API, right? So they align, they connect all the point-to-point with the API, right? What we call it API overdose, yeah? And of course, project maintenance getting higher and higher, right? Every year you have to increase the maintenance budget. Why? Because it's so many changes. Why in the first place got so many changes? It's like you're buying a car for, I don't know, 100,000, but by the time 6 months, you already spend 200,000 for maintenance. Something not right somewhere. Yeah? And of course, when you ask for money, we can turn the magic, the money can fly. Okay, I mean, this year, Malaysian ringgit flying, right? Appreciate. Okay, hopefully continue to appreciate lah. But this flying means not appreciating, disappear. Okay, you give the money 10 million, disappear. System not ready, disappear the money. Ask for another 5 million. I think some of you have experienced this. Okay, and of course, this is another discussion, right? About the word IC. IC means I know lah, right? I know about this particular situation. I understand about the light, right? They got the bulb, they got fluorescent, they got matches, and etc. Okay, so the IC means your head lah, basically, right? What you see, not what I see lah. What I see is not what you see, right? Argument lah. Okay, so the facts about our so-called transformation about the legal is that we are the only luckiest profession in the world, right? When we have failed in the last IT project, IT implementation, what happened? We are given a chance to take a bigger and larger project to screw up, isn't it? Your boss give you a chance, isn't it? If you are the only team in the company that handle 10 million, the next 15 million, who you give? Your team lah. So you're given a chance to screw up bigger and bigger. Amazing, huh? Anyone in and out Changi prison? In and out Kajang prison? Because of that, my team just came out from Kajang prison, Aaron. Last month, we screw up 20 million. We stay there for 2 months or 3 months. Nobody, right? When you screw up 30 million, they give you 50 million. And then 50 million, your company, no other bigger project, you put open to work, suddenly got the project 100 million. They will give it to you. Why? You experienced 50 million. Nobody else have done 50 million. Let you do lah. Then what happened? Screw up again lah. Then company go up to 30 million, to 100 to 200 million. And then stuck there, open to work again. $500 million, you again get it. Our career is very rewarding. We are very lucky. I don't know whether can be lucky the next generation. But so far, so good. Our thing. Anyone in and out Kajang prison? No? No? Your boss from prisoner? Out? Just out from yesterday from Kajang prison, now attend conference? Nobody. Right? And of course, this is also another fact, right? The more we screw up, the more we are rewarded, the more we are given bigger project. Yeah? All right, the last one on the depth from the IT perspective. So we are trying to so-called connect, right? Point to point, at the end become hairball. Okay? Then of course, no architecture lah. Architecture is afterthought. What we promise about the project objective, project goal, vision, mission, and what they are getting, far from the reality. Okay? Of course, this is what the statement that we need to have, right? We can think technical, think technology, but we need to speak and write business. All right, let's move on. I have a few other discussion, right? Of course, these are the situation between reckless, prudent, deliberate, and inadvertent. Okay? So reckless and deliberate mean we don't see how EA can become strategic and relevant to us. So some of the people will think that way. Totally not relevant to me. Which is very weird, right? So basically, this is the concept. I don't want to know, and I don't care about EA lah. Basically, not important. Or you are inadvertent and reckless. What is EA framework, meta model, notation, process, governance anyway? Who cares, right? I'm only focusing on AI. My budget, everything must be AI related. Not AI related, my boss will not approve. Okay? So basically, I don't care and I don't want to know about EA, right? So these are some of the group that we will face this 4-quadrant group. And then the prudent is, we have to start the transformation now. We will deal with the EA consequences later. This is, I would think, 90% of the situation. They know, but no time lah, no time. Let me run first. Because they already announced, right? If you want to do EA, I need to delay 1 month. My boss will not accept this. Let me run the transformation first. Okay? Of course, this was the one that causing many, many debts. I don't know how EA is so important, but I don't have the luxury. I know EA is important. I don't have luxury of time, right? So many of us actually in this quadrant, 90%. And this one basically some of the situation as well. Now we know on why we should have adopted EA in the first place, and our organization would be in much better state. Okay? I know and I care about EA, but how do we start the EA journey? So I would think the right-hand side is many, many, but I think the top one is in the most applicable context. Okay? I just don't have time. I know it's very important. I don't have time. Yeah? And of course, what is enterprise architecture definition? So this one taken by Gartner. So actually the process of translating business, vision, and strategy into effective enterprise change. So enterprise change actually is transformation. By creating, communicating, and improving the key principle and model that describe enterprise future states. Future state means something that you want to change. Okay, any one of you that your team or your company think they don't need to change for the future? Anyone? Mean you have no job, right? If you don't want to have the future states. And enable is evolution. You know what's evolution? Evolution means incremental change, right? You evolve mean, wow, today change, next week change, the following week change, the following month change. It's evolution. That's why you need to have some sort of architecture, right? And of course, in the simplest term, EA is used to describe the future state of an enterprise and guide the rapid change, right? So that we can reach the future state with confidence, right? So we need some sort of the guide the rapid change. And this one basically taken from the TOGAF version 10. The TOGAF version 10 already deliberately mentioned about architecture to support strategy, right? So strategy means all the organization way about achieving or realizing the goal need to be architected, right? You cannot arrive or achieve the goal by chance. You need to architect. That's why the architecture need to orchestrate the business, the information, the application, the technology, etc. So we need to be able to support the strategy. Okay? After the strategy we are supporting, what is next? Architecture to support portfolio. What is portfolio? Portfolio is all the initiative that you are trying to do in the 3 to 5 years, right? So portfolio can be grouped by domain, by project, and etc. Right? So a group of the cross-functional, multi-phase, multi-project chain initiative. After you understand the strategy, then you know suddenly what? Got so many jobs to be done. Okay, jobs to be done. Then you group that into the portfolio. After portfolio, what is next? You go into the project execution. That's why just now in the earlier discussion, right, how architecture actually should be established before the project. Because why? All the way actually from the strategy to the portfolio to the project. So that when you do the project, you are cruising. You are sailing in the project. Now, what happened in the project? We are facing typhoon, bad weather, basically all the rough sea. So our sailing, we are lucky to arrive to that port, right? We are heading on the bumpy route. By right, the project is supposed to be cruising if you have the architecture. And what's the next one? Architecture to support solution delivery. Basically support lah, SLA, service level agreement, operational level agreement. So, you know, your maintenance also should be by right getting less and less complex. Yeah. So this is basically the concept of the TOGAF standard 10 edition. And of course, what we are trying to do is actually moving from the strategy to the transformation. So instead of doing from the strategy to the transformation, we will go into the architecture first. After you understand the strategy, you basically understand the architecture, the impact that the strategy brings to the organization. Then you can cruise in your transformation project, not the other way around. So the concept is about how do we architect our transformation. Many organizations actually executing the transformation, but seldom or very rare they architect their transformation. Yeah. So instead of from the strategy go to the transformation, and we do architecture inside the transformation, we should be doing architecture first, so that the transformation just now, like architecture to support strategy, architecture to support portfolio, architecture to support project, and solution delivery is cruising at number 3. Okay, because if we don't do number 2, we are going to hit the bumpy transformation journey in number 3. Okay, so the concept is basically between business and the IT strategy, right? We need somehow to connect between the 2 pillars, business and IT. Of course, what we call it on the left-hand side is the what we call it BSP, business strategic plan, business strategic transformation, or business strategic trust. And this one is all IT strategic trust, IT plan, etc. Right? And basically, in the business side, they have some sort of what in the architecture they call it layer, right? We need to understand the motivation. So the motivation basically is what are senior management trying to do, what are their KPI, what are their goal, their driver. So we need to understand that, and we also need to help to formulate the strategy. The strategy basically is about how do we achieve the motivation, and after that, with what? With what is the business lah. So with 3 departments, under the 3 departments, there will be new processes, new function, new services, right, in the business. Then from there, we can map it to our technology stack, right? So the analogy of architecture is the ability to connect the dot so that we know when things don't turn up well, we can understand the impact, right? Basically, technology exists for a reason. Business change for a reason, and we can show them the impact. Yeah, that's the concept of the architecture today in the context of the digital enterprise architecture. So the concept is like this, right? We understand that motivation, strategy, business, application, technology, and solution need to be interconnected. Yeah? Of course, some of you are familiar with the Archimate. So Archimate is the building block for us to model the motivation, strategy, business, application, technology, as well as the solutioning part, right? How they connect to the UML when you go into the project. Remember just now, architecture to support strategy, architecture to support portfolio, architecture to support project. This is inside the project already. Yeah. Then, of course, all your data schema and business process, right? So all these are basically the concept on the enterprise architecture that need to be so-called modeled. Because by having this building block modeled in your organization, so when you want to transform, you want to do rapid change, you know exactly which block will be shifted, which block will be impacted. Otherwise, you only know when the thing goes wrong, right? Management call for emergency. Suddenly what happened? Why this one suddenly not working? Why the other department complaining? Why everything not harmonized? Yeah. So the concept is the TOGAF 10. So this is basically the latest TOGAF standard 10 edition. If you notice, there are key differences. They have no more arrow. Remember in the TOGAF 9, they got A to B to C, they got arrow, right? So in the TOGAF standard 10 edition, they remove the arrow because they want to follow Agile EA. And also, they want to drive the digital enterprise, digital organization, right? So the key actually in the requirement management. So the requirement management become the emphasis on the TOGAF Standard 10 edition. If you establish requirement management correctly, the rest of the A, B, C, D, E, F, G only incremental. They call it minimum viable architecture. In TOGAF 9, waterfall. Phase A, architecture vision, got 11 steps. B, business architecture got how many steps, CK? Business architecture TOGAF 9, I think got 9 steps. 9 steps. 11 step, 9 step. So they tell you waterfall. In the TOGAF standard, Agile. Okay? And I think 80% concept change from the TOGAF 9. Yeah? So of course, in the preliminary, typically you identify the stakeholders. In the architecture vision, you understand the vision, motivation, strategy of the senior leadership. And then in the business architecture, in the summary, what you do actually identify the gaps. Gaps mean jobs to be done. The changes that you need to carry out. Yeah? Then in the information system, the gaps again. If you have no gaps, it means you have no job. What? Tomorrow don't need to go to office. Start updating the CV. Why? No more job, your department. Sure, got many jobs, right? So, got gaps. Then technology gaps. And then here, where you do consolidation to become portfolio. Remember just now, architecture to support strategy, portfolio, project portfolio. Then in the F, you actually a list of project, architecture to support project. And this is architecture to support solution delivery in the implementation. So the Agile, the sprint, you can run it in the EFG, but the ABCD also in the Agile way because the emphasis is on the requirement management, right? Then of course, when there is any, they call it FUCA, right? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, you need to respond to change. Okay, and the middle part is the EA repository. So the emphasis in the TOGAF Standard 10 edition is the middle one. You need to have the EA repository established so that it will facilitate the communication, single source of truth for all the various activity that we do in our organization. Okay, so the concept is something like this, right? I think you have seen this concept. So everything needs to be interconnected, interrelated, right? And of course, all the way into the project implementation. Yeah. So this is basically the mirror on the TOGAF concept and in action with the Archimate. Yeah. So the concept, the example is like this. So for motivation, basically in the typical situation is that you want to know who are the stakeholders, what value are we going to deliver, what goal we are trying to achieve, right? What are the drivers? What are the assessment, the situation, the principle, requirement? So we should be able to model. We should be able to model something like this. How they are all interconnected, right? So as an architect, you need to can use Archimate to model the interrelationship about the question that you are trying to answer. They call it meta model. Then for the strategy, same thing. What are the strategy? What capability required? What resources do we need to establish? Then you can model that, and all must be interlinked in all the layers, right? How the strategy itself realizing the requirement and supported by the capability and the value stream. Yeah. Then of course the next one is on the business side. What do we need to update or to introduce? Is it our new business process, business function, business role, business service? Okay. So we can model the relationship among them. And of course last technology and the application. How we can model them, and all this need to be interlinked to deliver value. You take a look at the side there, the value. So the value need to be the focus of all the activity that we do. Because if no value, don't do it. You don't bring value to the organization, don't do it. Unless regulatory compliance. Yeah? And of course, the last one is on the solution. How do we execute the transformation project? This way you have the roadmap and the implementation layers. So all these are, architecture to support strategy, architecture to support portfolio, solution delivery, right? And to execute the project. Let's move on. So what will happen when we start paying off the EA debts, right? Of course, business and IT become more synchronized, right? Whatever we can communicate, whatever we can discuss, it's almost like both have no misunderstanding or a little bit misunderstanding, right? So they're pretty much aligned. What you see, what you will get, right? Full of transparency. That's why the architecture is basically is like see-through the whole spectrum, right? From the business, you understand the strategy, you understand the team involved, you understand the processes, you understand all the data impacted, the application impacted, the technology, and etc. Yeah, and of course you want to generate money, right? So we need to know about the finance. How can we generate money? So when we talk about generating money, money is not an issue. You know, the ISA now is, I call it BITABOK 3.0. Last time I call it ITABOK, right? Some of you I think have attended the ISA, they call it ITABOK, IT Architecture Body of Knowledge. So 2 years ago, ISA changed for the ITABOK 3.0, they changed the name become BITABOK, Business Technology Architecture Body of Knowledge. So a lot of focus and emphasis is on the business side. In fact, I believe some of you have taken architecture core in the past, yes? For 4 days. It's pretty much architecture core about the journey about the organization. So the new BITABOK is quite interesting. It's 5 days. The first 2 days actually is about business. The 3 days is about technology, right? So in the past, I think we have been running four batches, about 4 batches this year, the class. So we are quite fortunate. We got the balance between the business people and the IT people attending the class. So interestingly, the first 2 days, those with the business people, they move faster. Because why? They've been doing that every day in their work. But the IT people is behind, right? By the time they go to the 3rd day, the IT people drive faster. The business people said, I'm a little bit lost. I said, don't worry. At least now you see how the architecture is being executed. Because they got the business architecture, got application, got the data, got technology architecture, right? So you balance up. And then interestingly, in the conclusion, many of the IT people said, oh, actually the first 2 days, we typically never get involved. By the time they come out the plan, I want to do this, and I will give you 8 million, you do. So typically, the IT people just take it, the starting point from that point. Actually, they got many minus step that IT people normally don't get involved. So like the architecture core, the new one, the BITABOK, is really giving the holistic approach. Oh, actually good that if we can get involved early. Then we can shape the whole transformation accordingly. Yeah. So because we want to generate money. And now of course from the how to prevent the EA debt from the legal perspective. Right? Of course you can use architecture contract. So architecture contract is something that quite prominent already. Even in the TOGAF Standard 10 edition, they emphasize a lot on the contract, right? So basically, we need to have some sort of the sign-off in every step that we do, right? So this is also following the agile approach, right? How we can come out the architecture vision, our target architecture, okay? And then how we implement the architecture. We can govern the PMO, right? And also the agile team. And how we can also contract with the implementer. So if you have the implementation team, you can also so-called establish the contract. And how you can also, of course, formulate the whole requirement management. Because requirement management now is to become the key important in the so-called in the digital age. That everything need to be centralized. Otherwise, the information now will be residing in the multiple department and multiple people. Right? And of course, AI now is coming. And AI without information architecture and business architecture, it will never be successful. Trust me, it's not about technology. AI is about the business and also about the information. And these two areas are typically our weakest link in every organization. Of course, you can adopt ChatGPT, you can pay ChatGPT, you can get Gemini, right? AI, no problem. But they will crawl the internet. They cannot crawl your department. They cannot crawl your company. Even you open up the port, they crawl database. So they don't give a significant intelligent AI. Why? Because our information is most of the time in where? In everyone's head lah, right? I have met to quite a number of people that tell me that, Aaron, my boss and my company cannot touch me one. I work here 20 years. Okay? So I will keep the information within my head. Why? Because I am the survivor. Right? So any critical issue, they will call him and his team to come to attend the meeting. And they can just give enough answer. Why? Competitive advantage. Right? So they just keep there lah. Comfortable. Right? But unfortunately, this is what happened, isn't it? And we have done enterprise architecture at one time. We need to gather the information. And then after that, the EA team told me, the one that who knows just retired 2 years ago. Let me call them, see whether they're still alive or not. Because don't know, got COVID. Luckily, pick up the phone. Luckily, still alive. So we call the person, engage him. Of course, the company agreed to compensate, and he share all the information. Scary, isn't it? And now got the 854, is it? The one about cybersecurity, or the board director need to be accountable. The information don't know the impact, right? So if you don't document, you don't model this, scary, and could be with someone has already pension, right? And you need to keep them warm, Better make sure that you know they are still alive, So anything you need the information, call them back, maybe through Teh Tarik lah. No choice, because in the past no architecture, the information is residing with them. Right. So of course now, we can also do a so-called concept on the, the architecture, enterprise, segment, and product, right? How we can so-called cascade down using the agile method, right? This is actually taken from the TOGAF Standard 10 edition. TOGAF Standard 10 edition is already drive agile in all the architecture approach, right? That's why normal steps, and also to realize a digital enterprise, yeah? And this is actually taken from PMI, right? You know the PMI, Project Management Institute. If you have taken their PMI certification this year or last year as well, they already moved to the agile. They are no longer waterfall, same thing. So, got the product owner, got architecture owner. So architecture owner is basically architecture lead, right? So in the agile, it's no project manager. So there will be Scrum Master and the product owner. Product owner is team lead, Scrum Master is basically the project manager. They don't call it the word project manager, right? How they can so-called synchronize between the architecture and the development team, right? To guardrail. Okay, this is the model from the PMI. You can see the link at the bottom there, the right-hand side. So basically, enterprise architect work closely with the team lead or Scrum Master and agree on the architecture contract. Right? So they got the contract agreement. They can derail, but not much. Everything has been guarded. And secondly, of course, architecture owner work closely with the product owner to govern the solution architecture implementation. So when you implement, you can guardrail the agile team so that they don't derail too much. Yeah? And of course, solution architecture blueprint, guardrail the agile sprint, and ensure that sprint backlog do not turn into technical architecture debt. So sprint backlog, basically all the requirement, the jobs to be done, make sure that you need to review, no dispensation or approval, special approval that you allow them to become your architecture debts. Okay? All right. This is my last slide before later we get the feedback from everyone. Do you want to stay or jump out from the boiling frog syndrome? You heard this story? Boiling frog? Anyone first time? Never heard in the school? You heard, right? Many stories about boiling frog, right? Are we inside the boiling frog? I don't know. Hopefully, maybe my boss inside lah, not me. My boss inside the boiling frog. I'm already outside. I'm just watching them. Okay, let's take a look at the situation. Okay? Boiling frog syndrome is the metaphor that I use for our digital transformation journey. Okay? Our digital transformation journey. So, of course, as we put the frog inside the big pot like that, and you turn on the fire, what happened? The frog jump. No, nobody jump. The frog feel comfortable, so nice. Okay, the water is so warm. Okay, imagine placing a frog in a pot of cold water, right? So I love being an IT professional. Okay, everybody so happy. Yeah, everybody so happy. You dip your head there inside, and then of course slowly you hit the water, right? So IT starting to face problem and bigger problem, and you call it business as usual. Okay, business as usual. Number 3, right? The frog, unaware of the gradual temperature increase, remains placid. Placid means you immune lah, no problem man, because the frog can adjust the body, right? So of course the concept is that there isn't any problem that I have not seen before, no problem. Okay, what's number 4? Okay, your project manager. As the water gradually boil, the frog becomes stuporous, right? Most of the time, IT have to do firefighting. Part of my life. I'm paid to do firefighting, right? So no issue. What's number 5? Of course, eventually, right? It allows itself to be boiled to death without realizing the danger. Okay, so basically, all of them are going to die soon. Okay? But fortunately, there is someone to rescue. Who is this guy? Managed to jump outside and tell everybody, quickly jump out. Who is this guy? All of us, isn't it? Okay? Our architects tell all the sea level, quickly jump out. Don't get boiled to death in the boiling frog syndrome. Yeah? So hopefully we are the one outside, not jump together. Okay?